With Shield Hero coming back, it's a great opportunity for them to finally go back to buffing characters, and it will be a must. Because characters like RAPHTALIA sort of needed to actually become meta again. And, you know, you need to add value to the banner. Very likely it's only going to be 2 new characters, so maybe they're going to put stuff in their passive to make the other old characters, like, actually good, like RAPHTALIA and Naofumi, but I find it to be kind of hard to believe that. It's probably just going to be good with the newer characters, but if they do buff it, RAPHTALIA has ways in which she can be very, very strong. I'm going to be running her today with this team. I kind of didn't want to bring Naofumi with her because like, I wanted to have a full good team, right? Ideally, I would want to bring RAPHTALIA, and then to make a proper unknown team, I guess I could bring him. Yeah. Yeah, I could. I have UR gear for him, right? It's all over the place. Okay, this works. I didn't want to bring Naofumi. He just sucks. But this will work out. So we got the full unknown. That works. But oh no, I can't bring the Mashi then. Ah! I can't forget. Next match I need to swap Gil Thunder from the Mashi. So the thing with RAPHTALIA is that I can't bring freaking Hell, which would be like, you know, she's like, is she the best unknown in the game? No, because Gelda exists, but can't bring Gelda either. She needs a full blue team, because then you get 30% damage reduction, which alongside other stuff really does add up, right? I'm start going for melee, because I think my damage is a little too low for Gelda, at the beginning especially. It's unfortunate that melee is going to cleanse the attack lore anyways, but whatever. So, the thing with RAPHTALIA is that her passive is very short. I guess I didn't open up, but she increases allies' max HP by 300% of her defense. Okay. And then decreases damage allies take by 30% if the team is full blue. Dude, that is so specific. That is such a specific passive, and that really hurts her. It really does. In any case, let's, can we? No, we can't kill melee, can we? Let's do this, let's do this. How much are we doing here? Not much. That's we're not doing much, okay. Well, she does that, right? And increases damage dealt by allies by 40% if an ally is assuming a stance, which, you know, we got a good unknown blue character that has a stance. So like it's not actually that bad of a deal here, having that. And here, her RAPHTALIA 30% damage reduction plus Albedo's own damage reduction, like honestly kind of a really good combo. Kind of a match made in heaven if you really look at it. But even still, it just doesn't work because RAPHTALIA is just super outdated, right? And I think there's some ways that they can really help her. I think her cards are fine. So she has this single target I just did, that is Flood. And the other single target is Sever. I think that the Sever card is always bad. Like every time I use it, she just does no damage. And the reason why is because her crit damage, I believe, is very low. I actually can't confirm that right now. I can on my turn. I can pull it up and check the stats. I think they don't need to change the card. Just give her more crit damage, right? Like they can just give her more stats, or make it so her relic doesn't just give plus 40% damage, but also some crit chance, some attack related stats, right? Because as much as, yeah, like she, so how much crit damage do we have right here? We have 242 with the plus 20. That's not too bad actually. Should kill, right? She will kill. Ainz will kill. I wasn't scared one bit. So yeah, you know, looking at her and comparing her. Oh, almost forgot. Yeah, she has a lot of crit gems. Her gear, my gear for her is full crit damage. That's why her crit. I have crit chance and crit damage as part of her gear. That's why her crit damage is so high. Her base crit damage is not that high. Almost forgot about that. I did give her crit damage back then. It was because of this card. So this crit chance card, if you don't give her crit chance, trust me, it will not crit. Like her base crit chance is so low. And I was like, okay, for the crit chance card, I'll give her crit damage so that she does good damage. Silly me, she still doesn't do good damage. So Pierce for her will be better, just like for now for me. Unless they actually buff her stats and then give her actual, you know, good crits and stuff like that. Problem is, I don't think it's gonna happen. Like I don't know why, but I don't see them doing much for RAPHTALIA. If they do something, I think they're gonna do it for now, because it's the main character, right? I don't know about RAPHTALIA. I am a little concerned about her. Can I? Okay, I don't have a stance. Ban, I think could die to this. Taking out Yuno would be nice. I'm less sure about that now. Yeah, her damage is... Tanks, Eins, very cool, very cool. Her damage is a little outdated. Oh, level 3s, yeah. Could I tank this? What's the chance I can tank this? I got the Nashi, but no Nashi passive on two of my characters. Well, didn't tank it very well. I'll say that, I didn't tank it very well. And as I was saying, to make her better, right? I think her stance, right? Has a... Sorry, not her stance. Her relic has a part where if an ally has a stance, allies do 40% more damage, which, you know, for the context of the unit, it makes sense. Like, she is meant to be now from the sword, whatever, like, you know, they're meant to be run together. The thing is, right, 40% is not good. Damage increase is not as good as attack related stats. And even, like, okay, she doesn't use attack, sure, she uses defense, whatever. It's for the team, right? So, either she, like, giving defense related stats when an ally has a stance, that would be good too, because then the allies would be tankier, right? Or giving allies attack related stats would also be good. So, you know, giving more than just the defense would go a long way for this character. And then on top of that, should we... Level 2, let's see. Her passive, right? So she gives allies max HP of 200% of her defense. Defense is the lowest stat by default. Even if you use triple defense, it's not going to be that high. So, you know, it's not going to be that much HP increase. Either give more defense to the allies based on the defense. You know how... Is it Sauriel gives basic stats to allies, to goddess allies, depending on his HP or stats? Up to 20% or something like that? It would be better for her. And then decreases ally damage taken by 30% if all is same attribute. I mean, I would just chalk that as, you know, keep the damage reduction, whatever, but not only have it so it's like, okay, decreases allies damage by 30% if all allies are same attribute or same race, right? So she can just be run with unknown. And now it's like, oh, she's like meant to be run with now for me. Shut up. I don't care, right? Like, to make the character usable, we're gonna have to make sacrifices here, okay? It's not even a sacrifice. We're gonna have to include her on the team of her race because this is how teams are made these days. Teams are made based on their attributes, and like outside of putting her on a known team, I guess you can put her on whatever team with the characters that come out for the collab. But like, that's really it. Like, being part of a race team, or like doesn't have to, like, attribute team. I guess attribute would be color. Like blue, red, green. I'm thinking more of like characteristic. Like Sins is not a race, but it's a characteristic. You know what I mean? Like being part of either a race team or characteristic team is way better than a color team. It just doesn't work all that well. Because what ends up actually happening is what I'm doing right here. Like, I'm not only just going a full unknown team, but also a full blue team. I'm doubling down on this, on the color and freaking attribute. Or sorry, color and race. It's just dumb, right? So, it'd be much better for everyone involved if she did that. She was included, or her passive included, same race. And, you know, maybe if it's like, okay, let's say you make a blue plus unknown, then it doubles it. It's 60% damage reduction. It's like, oh, 60% damage reduction, that's too good. Is it too good? Like, really think about it. Think about the characters we have nowadays. Is it too good? It's good, for sure, don't get me wrong, it's good, but it's not gonna break everyone's kneecaps, alright? It's just gonna be pretty good for the character for a little while, and that's what it's about, right? They release collab characters a lot of the times to be good for a little while and then kind of fade off. And that's what's gonna happen, and what's gonna keep happening throughout the game's lifespan. So, you know, just make, it's 60% damage reduction. If you double down and go both unknown and blue, dude, the sacrifices you're making by doing that are insane. You can't run hell. You can't, like, it's a lot, right? But also just realized I could have actually run Demon King Melly. He's blue. But he doesn't blend well with her. Like, yeah, it just doesn't blend well with her. It's, yeah. So my point still stands. Like, you for a character to be successful in current meta, they have to be either on a sort of characteristic team or race team. And she doesn't really have any characteristic other than collab. I don't think, maybe, I mean, they could chalk it to collabs being like a usable characteristic. Like, remember Jim had, you know, collab characters do more damage as part of his passive debuff. I mean, that was cool, and it never really got utilized that much because other characters never carried on to that premise of making like a collab team. If they were to do that eventually, they'll be decent, I think. Alright, that's RAPHTALIA. She's not as exciting as now for me, I don't think. But a lot of people really want her to be good again, so they'll be pleasing everyone. And since they can't make a new relic, buffing passives, buffing stats is how they can make it.